Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another video. I'll be sharing with you some of my experience, as an adult, some of the things that I experience in life. I know there's a lot of persons out there who have experienced similar or the same things, and it's always good to share because you never know who your story might be helping. Because since I've been on this journey, I have seen a lot of persons, come across a lot of persons who have similar stories, and I was able to help them. So I'm just taking it to a wider audience. So today's video is going to be about how I lost weight from 182 pounds to 128 pounds. So how I lost that weight was I started getting sick back in 2014 when I was doing my CXCs. At the time, I thought it was just stress, and I've been going to the doctors and they kept saying it was stress and all of that. Before that, I normally would trouble with a stomach problem, acid reflux. Viewers, I did not know that acid reflux was so bad, or it can get so bad. So my acid reflux second stage was GERD. So it's gastroesophageal reflux disease. So I ended up with GERD. And to tell you the truth, I would never want anyone to experience GERD. GERD is awful. You can't eat the things that you love. You can't eat any spicy food. You can't eat all the nice food you can think of. You can't eat them because of GERD. So when you eat those things, you don't digest the food properly, and a lot of acid get backed up in your esophagus. That is when you have the reflux, because the sphincter is supposed to keep this valve closed. So when you swallow it, it's supposed to open and the food goes in. But because that valve is always open, the acid that is supposed to be in your stomach alone to digest the food keep coming up, and you can't eat late, you can't eat a lot at once, you have to eat in portions. So my story was I could not eat a lot of stuff. I was forced to eat basically a bland diet. So I was forced to eat mostly fruits and vegetables. So because of that, I lost a lot of weight. I lose weight very rapidly, and I was seeing myself losing this weight, every week, more and more. Before I found out it was acid reflux, I had a lot of chest pain. At some point, I thought I was having a heart attack because of the pain I was feeling. And at one point, I had was to take a whole month sick leave from work. I could not even lift up a bottle of water. The water that has the handle, the bottle of water that has the little handle, I couldn't as much as lift that bottle up. To how weak I was. I cried a lot. There were days when I went to my bed, I never sure I was going to see the next day because of how much pain I was in. Because this acid reflux, what it does, it mostly affects you at night. Because night is when your digestion takes place, and that is the time that affects you the most. So I remember one day I was at work and a gentleman came in. After I was so depressed, I was at my lowest, and a gentleman came through the door and he said to me, every day me come in here, you lose weight more and more. We soon see you again. And to be honest, guy, I had was to rebuke that spirit, because basically what he was saying, that one day he's going to come in the store and he's going to hear that I passed on. I remember another co-worker of mine passed on, and the persons came in and they said they were looking for me, because when they hear that somebody from my workplace died, they thought it was me, because it's like, to how skinny I got, they were actually looking forward to see me die. Like they were waiting to hear the news, basically. If I find any picture and I can insert it in the video, I will insert the pictures of when I lost weight, if I can find any pictures to insert. I remember another customer came in the store and she was like, "Miss, you need to stop the way you do. You need to stop the diet where you can because you know look good." And those were some of the remarks that persons came to me and made. Persons walk up to me and ask me if I have cancer. And after being so depressed, so some persons were so insensitive that it's like they never know what to say to you. They saw that something was wrong, but they never know what to say, or some of them never know how to say it, how to ask. And sometimes if you're not sure, it's best not to say anything. They always say if you don't have nothing good to say, no say nothing at all. Some of these persons, like, trust me, they weren't encouraging. They see you seems to be at the lowest. They're not sure, but based on their observation from the outside, they could see that something was going on with me. I wasn't cheerful like I used to be. I was very depressed. I had to stop going to school, and as I mentioned before, stop going to work for a month. And after returning to work after that month, I still could not function as normal as I used to do. And my husband, of course, was my backbone. He was there with me through thick and thin. Even one of the time I lost so much weight that I kept looking at myself in the mirror and I hated myself. I hated taking pictures because when I take pictures, I look so bad in the pictures. I never like to take any pictures. And I remember my husband used to say to me, "Man, like me used to tell, you still look nice." And when I recovered, and I started putting back, he said, "Honey, you have to tell the truth, you really bag about me." Couldn't tell you. In the state that I was, he couldn't look at me and say, "Baby, you lose weight and your nice little shape gone down and with it round and fluffy." I'm not fluffy anymore. But he had to be my biggest encourager, and he could not tell me in the state that I was in that my body was not the way that when he met me, it wasn't like that anymore. But he was very supportive. And my husband, he also went through a lot, because he said, remember one time when we sick, and he went into the pharmacy to fill a prescription for me. And he said, the devil started showing one big body girl, and I said, "Look how the girl bottom round and how she shaped nice and look good. And you did stress out yourself with your maga wife." Basically. And he said he had to rebuke the spirit and say, "No, I'm going to be there for her, for better or for worse." And this was one of our worst time, and I think that is where I developed anxiety and started having the panic attacks, because before I never had that. But because I was doing a lot of tests and waiting for a lot of results and going to my bed one day if I'm going to die because of the feelings I was getting. I remember one day I was at work and I started having this arm pain. I thought I was having a heart attack, but it was the acid reflux. Even my chest pain that went down to my arm, went to the emergency room. There was a lot of things going on. And it's long after, before the doctors really figured out that it was actually acid reflux. I remember when I went to a doctor, he sent me to do a CT scan. I have a docket here, because every time I do a test, I would normally copy the results and get a second opinion, And that was the first time I was doing a CT scan, and the doctor, when I got back the result, the doctor looked at the result and the doctor hugged me, and the doctor said, "You're healthy, you're not happy, look at my result." Some of my organs were unremarkable. I do an endoscopy where they push the camera down my stomach and they look, and the only thing they saw was GERD. Nothing else was there. I had to do a colonoscopy too, because the digestive system is from basically your mouth to your anus. So they weren't sure at one point where in my digestive system was the problem. So I had to do a lot of tests, CT, chest, abdomen, pelvic. I had to do a endoscopy, I did a colonoscopy, I did burial meal. One of the time I started going to a herbal doctor, I did a full detox, everything, started eating clean, and it was from there that I started to slowly recover. And I remember one of the time my husband, had started feeding me with cornmeal porridge after I had started eating a little better cornmeal porridge. There were so many things I couldn't eat. One of the time I don't know where to eat, because doctor put me on gluten-free diet. When I went to the supermarket, I had was to be reading the labels to find gluten-free items. I could not find anything to eat. And to be honest, guys, we love me food. We love me food bad. So when I can't get what I want to eat, that is another state of depression for me. Because I love food and I love to eat. So I know a lot of persons out here might just have acid reflux. Some of you guys might not reach a stage of a GERD, but trust me, it's especially when in the night, sometimes when the acid come up, look here, one time I was at work and the acid come up in my throat and throat me, so till all eye water drop out of my eye. And you know, at that time my co-workers laughed because you know they didn't know how serious this thing was and they took it for fun, you know. But I mean, my throat so till my arm, I think I was dead. When the acid just fly up like suddenly and just start choke me. And trust me, guys, I know a lot of persons out there might be suffering from this thing, or they know they have relatives. Trust me, they can get you. You can get through this thing. You know, it's not a death sentence. You just have to change up your diet a bit, and I'm sure that once you change your diet and you cut out the grease, especially fatty food. I don't really fool around gravies much. Spicy food. I remember one time I couldn't eat a patty. Because if me eat one patty, my stomach burn me so till you think say a fire let go in a hit. You know? Now I can eat a little bit more. I still have it, but it's under control. And I can eat some of the stuff that I couldn't eat. But of course in moderation and not late at night. So this video, share the video. And leave a comment if you or yourself is suffering from acid reflux or GERD. You know, share the video. If you haven't subscribed as yet to my channel, please subscribe. I have more of my life journey stories to share and other videos, of course, coming up in the future. And you know, leave a comment, let me know if you're out there and you're struggling and you need any other advice I can reply to you know, privately. And thank you all for watching, and